happy?
All right. Welcome to the celebrated nightly news
of
Calaveras County. I'm John,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're back. And it is Wednesday night.
And we have new bumper music.
We do have new bumper music, and tonight's selection is
Having a
Quartet in G, First Movement, Part 1, from the Roth String Quartet, courtesy of Gutenberg.org again.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and yes, it
And
was
according
sounding
to
better,
Dawn-
but now it's sounding like strangled cats. So
Not quite. Not quite. Almost.
almost. How's that?
Sounds nice. Sounds like Disney music.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
It does. Sounds like it should be in a Disney movie. Fantasia. Maybe Alice in Wonderland.
And also, while we're doing our little bumper music, we would like to
Introduce our
display
newest
new
non-sponsor. Yes.
Kraft Macaroni and Cheese.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so we're
It's-
looking to double or triple sales for Kraft Mac and Cheese in Calaveras County.
That's right.
Because
That's
then
right.
it'll go, we have to advertise in the nightly news because look what you did for us.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
it's not only mac and cheese, it's the cheesiest. We thought it fit the character of the show. What do you think? So, these
But
would be
and it also fits in with your diet.
Yes.
Because what is it your wife calls you again?
a carbitarian.
A carbitarian.
So this will be
Exactly.
our product
That's
placement
your favorite food.
advertiser of the night.
That's right. Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese.
Kraft.
It
Macaroni
is.
and cheese.
And this is a very nice box. On the back, it has a very cute young man eating mac and cheese, and it's
the
the
cheesiest.
cheesiest.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Mm-hmm. So our non-sponsor
Our
of the evening,
non-sponsor and
Kraft
our
macaroni and cheese.
bumper music, the Quartet in G, First Movement, from Project Gutenberg.
That's right.
So there's
Where you
much
can
more
find
where
all
this
sorts
came
of
from.
cool things.
Okay.
Okay, I think
All
that's
right,
enough.
that's enough of the bumper music.
Enough of the bumper music.
That
I'm sure you'll agree that was enough.
was enough. Yes,
It was feeling a little less like Disneyland.
it was.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it was.
All right.
So on to the actual news.
On to the actual news.
The actual news.
Yes.
There's a mail-in election.
Oh, the ballot election.
Ballot
and we
election.
called the registrar
Yes.
of voters today, this morning, and spoke with them about the election in Murphy's. And this was for the measures A and B, and this was for additional funding for a full-time fire personnel.
Exactly.
And Measure B passed.
But Measure A
But
didn't.
Measure A failed, which means the whole thing went down in flames because
Yes.
Measure A was the funding measure, and Measure B merely gave them permission to spend the funds that Measure A raised.
Exactly.
So,
So if you can't raise the money,
then there's
Because
nothing
the-
to spend.
exactly. Exactly.
It was pretty close, though, because it needed a two-thirds majority. It needed 66%, and they got to 62. So,
And for a small community,
for a small
that's
community,
only a few
you're
votes. That
not
really
that many
is
votes. See, that's
Only a few votes.
yeah. So
I think we should read the comments.
I think there's somebody probably going shoulda, coulda, woulda there.
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
So
But your computer works a little faster than mine. I'm still
Well-
scrolling to get to the comments because on a lot of our stories you can make comments.
and we've changed a little bit because some of them we leave wide open that you can have anonymous comments, but some of them we have it so you have to register and stuff because we've had some people being a little bit snippy in some of these comments.
Yes, I've noticed.
Just a tad on the bitter side.
Just
so,
a tad.
so we have to watch them a little bit. But also, while Sarah's looking for that on the comments, and I can tell you what the comments said. There's two comments this morning
Oh,
that
you
were on
can.
there.
Okay.
One was lamenting that it didn't pass, and then the other
Yes.
one was happy that it
That it
Didn't,
didn't pass.
yes, and
Okay,
that
so
was,
there was
and
one from
was-
each camp then.
There was one from each camp, and the one was that was opposed to it. Thought that the other one was had to be a firefighter or something, So it was a little
okay.
bit snide,
Okay.
but that's where they were. So the Murphy's election, if you've been following that and you're not in the area, went down to defeat.
Went down in defeat.
Measure B passed, but
It needed
didn't do
Measure
any
A to
good,
pass
yes.
to spend the money. So much for that.
It's now, we just got a press release this afternoon. It's the official Earth, Wind, and Fire Ironstone.
Yes.
So upcoming on July 8th is the first one, the opening night of the Ironstone concert series.
On July 8th.
July 8th.
Very nice.
Which is just next weekend. Not
That's
this
right,
weekend.
because July
but
4th is next
weekend.
week. July 4th is
It's
next
amazing.
week. And another thing happening next week is Congressman Dan Lundgren is coming
That's
to town.
right. That's an honor.
Coming to one of our smaller towns, actually, out there in Mountain Ranch. He is...
Mountain Ranch or West Point?
It's Mountain Ranch.
Huh.
Oh, wait a minute.
West Point.
West Point, sorry.
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 See, usually
Sorry.
she has to correct me.
Sorry,
So that's
sorry.
Usually how it
But
goes.
he was actually instrumental in getting the USDA funding for the CHIPS program out there. He worked behind the scenes to get that money
done.
for the Calaveras County community, quite
Now, what does
frankly.
the CHIPS...
CHIPS program is it's an acronym for the Calaveras Healthy Impact Product Solutions, which is a program that provides job training for
Okay.
locals. And they train administrative people and also grant writers
Okay.
because they get a lot of grant money. Steve Walensky, Supervisor Steve Walensky, is very influential and instrumental and to getting this program up and running. Yeah, Mr. Cheesiness. And they also provide training for truck drivers.
Oh, really?
And it's sort of an exciting thing because you have to live in the county, is my understanding, but you don't actually have to use the skills you gain to work in the county.
Right.
And it's providing economic viability to that area.
To the residents.
To the residents, because there's been a lot of lumber mills shutting
Well,
down
yeah.
and logging.
Yeah.
So anyway, Congressman Lundgren is coming with USDA State Director Ben Higgins to present the check to the CHIPS program.
That's nice.
Which is
That's
very,
very
nice. July 2nd, Monday, July 2nd at 1 p.m. at the West Point
The
Community
interesting
Hall.
thing is Supervisor Walensky must be doing a few things right because he seems to he's getting some results on a lot of things.
He is getting
He's
a lot
very-
of results, absolutely. He gets down there and he works with people. He
Yeah.
doesn't just delegate.
Yeah.
He's just in there, in the thick of things as well. So it's a very nice thing that's going on over
Yeah,
there.
very
Definitely,
cool.
Definitely. And $96,500 is
That's-
nothing to sneeze at.
Not an insignificant amount.
It is
at
not
all.
at all. So,
Should we do a couple little fun pieces?
sure.
All right. Irish Vineyards did well at the state fair.
Already? I thought the state fair wasn't starting for a while.
We just got it. Did they do that early? Like
Maybe
they
they
do
do
at
it
the
early.
like they do at the county ones, just so
Maybe,
they can have a
yes.
little bit of marketing.
Maybe.
Here we go. So here it is. But we just got this release. It was entered as Sierra Foothill, and it received a gold. So they got a gold.
For which wine?
It was the
Blarney Red?
Blarney Red.
Meritage.
Yeah,
It was entered as a Sierra Foothill.
yeah. And also they had the second year in a row was the Blarney White. Got best in class
Wow.
with a blend, and very
Apparently
nice.
they're quite popular for their limited run, is it an
Dessert
apricot?
wine. Yeah, apricot dessert wine,
Apricot
yeah.
wine. And apparently they do very, very well with that limited run.
So that's our heavy news piece.
That is Irish Vineyards.
That's our
That's our
heavy
our heavy news piece.
yes.
Absolutely. There wasn't a lot of news in Calaveras County today.
Well, also, can I do one more light piece?
Sure.
All right. We just got the piece on the Ironstone fireworks. And
Okay.
It's hard to believe it's going to be
this
like
weekend.
3 days away.
Yes.
So the
Well, so is
Ironstone,
the Arnold Parade.
The Arnold Parade.
Yes.
And so everything's coming up on this Saturday. So the Arnold Parade is this Saturday, and also the Ironstone fireworks. And if you haven't been to the fireworks at Ironstone, they really put on a nice show.
They do. They do.
It's
a beautiful
actually
job.
one of the busiest events that Ironstone has. They put on a nice show.
And they really stepped up to the plate, too, because as many of you probably remember, a few years ago, the fireworks were canceled down in the Angels Camp area. And what happened is Ironstone stepped in and said, we'll do
it.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
Which
we'll
was
do it.
a real great community service. Of course, you have to pay for them.
Right.
But it is a very nice community service for them to do that. And it's really kind of a nice sort of 4th of July event to go out there, because you go out there with your blanket and you can sit on the lawn.
Sure.
And, there's all these other people out there that you see and know. And it's a very
real
nice
community event.
Exactly.
Also, from yesterday, we forgot to mention, the Master Gardeners had their open house
Yes, they
at their
did.
demonstration garden. And we thought we'd talk about it a little more. And if you haven't been to it, it is a wonderful.
It is. It's a really cool
It really
garden
is. And I have
out
a little
there.
bit of something throat thief.
Out-
Sorry.
It's at the government
It
center.
is. It's in front of the government center. And they also are using some really cool bark out there. That
Why don't you explain the bark?
the bark is not bark.
It's tires.
It's tires.
Recycled tires.
Recycled tires that are colored to look like redwood bark.
Yes.
And it is but also it's very functional because it's a very soft material. So if you're using it around playground equipment or anything like
Exactly.
that, it's
It's a very efficient recycling effort, quite frankly.
yeah. And Ken Churches was in charge of the lunch.
Apparently, he's a really good chef.
It was really
he's
good.
a really good chef, is what I've heard. I've never been at anything where he's cooked.
Really, it was very nice. It was
And how many people went? Were there quite a few people there?
It was mostly a dog and pony show for the UC Davis people. Were down there earlier, and we
okay.
attended the second wave, which was for the supervisors and county government
Okay.
to show up there. And it was a very, very nice. We have some nice slides on the show on the site, and we also posted an article this morning on the mentoring program's rafting
Oh,
trip.
that's right. Yes, and you went with your son
Yes.
and a friend of yours
Yes.
and his son, and that was a pretty well attended event.
It was, and it was a lot of fun because it was, down the McCollum and a stretch of the McCollum that you don't normally raft, and they get permission from the Utica Power Authority and BLM to be able to do a
Bureau of Land Management.
right. I figured most people that come up here know it.
Well, sometimes people don't.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes, they
Yes,
have permits
a
from them to
section
actually
of the
use
McCollum.
the McCollum. And if you're to make sure people are familiar with it, it's a 6-mile stretch, basically take you north of the bridge for Highway 49 crosses the McCollum,
yes.
and you actually float under the. Actually was.
There